I'm so excited to introduce you to another one of our Closings for Charity recipients. This is Jamie Wells. He is the COO of Defenders of Freedom. Welcome, Jamie.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
So tell us a little bit about Defenders for Freedom. What do y'all do?
So Defenders of Freedom Florida started 3 years ago here locally to support the local veterans. Our headquarters is in Coppell, Texas with Defenders of Freedom, but we service specifically the veterans here within the Panhandle of Florida. The three things that we do: one is help combat veteran suicide and invisible wounds. So we have a 2-week traumatic brain injury clinic that we send veterans to, and so far in the 3 years we've started, we've sent 13 veterans through that program.
Awesome, that's great, 13.
Yes. And at $15,000 a veteran, if you add that up, especially starting during COVID, it's been a great success for us. The second thing we do is we try to do community events that are different than some of the norm, and what we do by doing that is we involve community with veterans, so the veterans see that the community still cares, and the community can see who the veterans are within their network and in their area. And a lot of times they'll network together. Somebody finds jobs, somebody finds something that they can do together, and it's just a good feeling to know, like, okay, these are the folks within our community and how we helped.
I love the event that you did with survival skills out in the woods. Tell us a little bit about that.
Right, so, and in fact we're doing it again this year on the 15th of July. So what we've done is our friends from Bare Bones Bushcraft, which are from Discovery Channel's Naked and Afraid, they teach fire, water, primitive skills, shelter building, and trapping techniques. They come out once or twice a year. They teach those skills to the veterans in the community, and then the veterans in the community get to go out and do them together. One example, last year we had a veteran who came with his 2 young kids, both under 10, and they worked on the shelter for 4 hours. And he said when he got done that was the most important time he's had with his kids in the last couple of years. So that's what we try, is to have impact everything we do. We try to always have events that are going to have some kind of impact. If we're just getting together just to get together, then the purpose is lost. So for that was an example. Another one we talked about earlier was the Night at the Wahoos. We brought out 50 veteran families to the game. We actually had a veteran with a son who was severely handicapped. He got to actually go out on the field and throw the first pitch of the game. When he got done, he said he couldn't tell us what that meant to him and his family, that they will remember that forever. So,
and that's not just impacting the actual veteran, that's impacting their entire family and life.
And the community. The Wahoo Stadium invited us back, and they were like, wow, that was impressive that you brought those veterans out and that they had fun. They hope we'd come back. And not only that, we mentioned one of the veterans that we sent to our traumatic brain injury clinic. Just last week, I seen his wife for the first time. She came up and gave me a hug. She wanted to take a picture to send to her husband, who's overseas right now, and she literally said, "Thank you for giving me my husband back." I can't say what that means. And that's done through donations and funding here, and with your program, that's put together to help all these events that happen. Every time that happens, that goes to that program.
Well, we're honored. It's your work that's really making a difference, and we're glad you're doing it. Thank you for everything you're doing for our veterans. If someone wants to get involved, how can they help you? How can they reach out? What can they do to help you and help these veterans?
Absolutely. So our number one thing is volunteers. If you go onto our site, doffl.us, it's got a volunteer application there. Please fill it out. The second thing that you could do besides volunteering is if you have either an in-kind donation, or if you'd like to make a donation, you can do that on the website as well. But the number one thing we really look for is people. We always say we can't grow if you don't show. And we need folks to come out. So when we do these events, the veterans actually see that they have folks that count on them and that are willing to support them. And also we want veterans to be there, so the folks that come out from the community see, like, okay, it's not 2 or 3 guys, it's not 2 or 3 gals, it's the whole community concept.
Thank you for everything you're doing in the community. We really appreciate it, and we're really proud that you're a part of this community.
Thank you, and thank you for the generous donations. We appreciate each and every one of you, and I can just say that from Defenders of Freedom Florida, every one of those checks does make an impact.